I've really worked with women 100 pounds plus. I've worked with all different sizes over the years. And for some of those women, this is life-changing, like really life-changing. And then I've also seen firsthand what your type of microdosing can do for people. I went through a season of that and thought it was amazing.
That's a for your metabolism.
Even if they think they're microdosing or whatever amount is, you're going to have to keep adding more. Eventually, you're going to be at that other dose, so it's going to not work.
You know, and I told you, I feel partially responsible for this because I came out with this microdosing concept and it was unrelated to weight loss. And while it does offer some potential for sort of the fluff loss in the middle-aged woman who's already metabolically optimized, it's not a weight loss strategy, but it's been hijacked and it's been twisted, and there's MLM companies, and like every person on the internet, every influencer is hawking injectables, and they're utilizing the term microdosing as a onboarding weight loss strategy. Yeah. And everyone's like, oh, I'm microdosing for inflammation while they get rail thin. Right. I'm thinking like, dude, your hips are going to break when you're in a few, like this is not the time. Being in your 50s is not the time to become further malnourished and completely lose all your muscle mass while you're at it. Like it's abysmal. What's coming, I think, is a nightmare.
You know, for obesity, I love it. Like I will say that because I've really worked with women 100 pounds plus. I've worked with all different sizes over the years. And for some of those women, this is life-changing, like really life-changing. And, you know, I've watched people that are close to me even that they knew how to eat healthy. They knew how to they did all the things, but this makes a difference at the right monitored dose, right? And then I've also seen firsthand what your type of microdosing can do for people. Heck, you got me to try it initially. And I went through a season of that and thought it was amazing, like for labs and for what it does for A1C, but not to the point of not eating or to not, like, this is wild to me what I'm watching, and it's very scary. And the talk of just everything's like a research peptide now, not even not like people don't even know where they're getting their source from.
They have no idea. That's a whole other conversation, and they have people are listening to influencers on the internet with absolutely zero health credentials and injecting powders into themselves.
It's super scary.
And I'm like, and then on top of it, yes, it is miraculous and life-changing for obesity. That was never the conversation I was trying to have, and it was always the one I got pulled into. Yeah. But I still do speak to people, my following, clients who've used it and lost appreciable amounts of weight. But when they don't do it right, and they don't employ the common sense that you are so known for, they end up in the pickle I have warned about, which is severe malnourishment, symptomology that nobody can figure out. And I'm like, you're B12 deficient now, you're B vitamin deficient. And I can't even imagine what's happening to people's bones, and I've warned of this, like coming in metabolically compromised, cranking a GLP1, dropping a tremendous amount of weight while not having any safeguards or boundaries in place, and then coming out the other side with very little muscle mass, rail thin. That's a disaster for your metabolism.
Tina, I was scrolling TikTok the other day, and I should have known better to scroll TikTok, but there's a trend video going around where it's a frying pan. I don't know if you've seen this. It's a syringe on the frying pan, a vial, like a bottle, and like a Monster or an energy drink soda. And it's funny that he's like stir frying the pan, or she's stir frying the pan, and it says like when you're on GLPs and someone asks you what's for dinner, and it's like these videos are going viral, like normalizing that. Let's just not eat and take something and drink an energy drink. Like what? And then the super, super skinny, all of a sudden that body positivity thing is gone. It's like I don't even see anyone talking about that anymore.
Yeah, I know, it's crazy. I've seen so mmany different things here and there that have disturbed me so highly. And even some of the big actresses that have lost tremendous amounts of weight, and they're so rail thin. And it's because we were teenagers during that sort of heroin chic early 90s, right? Yeah. And I was a victim of that. Like I really had severe eating disorders, and this allows you to crank up the dose into eating disorder land very easily. And there's a weird sort of power that comes over you, especially I think when people, I will say, when people have gut issues and they stop eating, that limited fast can be so healing and helpful for the gut. But when you're a teenager, you confuse it for, like, you don't realize it has to be finite. You just keep it up because you're like, I feel so much better when I don't eat. you know?
Right.
And then when your life feels out of control, it's one of the things you can control. All of a sudden you realize you can. And now they have it in a syringe. And they've lost the common sense that and they don't even want it. I guess that's why I wanted to bring you on today. These middle-aged women are like, well, I have my GLP-1. I'm like, your microdose it's not even a microdose. They're taking the standard dose. They're taking the same dose as somebody who is pathologically diabetic or in obesity to such a degree that they need a standard dose. And they don't have any other, they tell me, oh, my life has changed by your work. I've lost 45 pounds. Now I'm going to start strength training. And I'm like,
whoa.
Oh no.
Yeah. Because the way you teach it shouldn't even affect your appetite. Like you should be eating. You should be like, your labs might change. You might notice some, but that's where as soon as someone says they're not eating or they can't, I know right there, red flag.
That's not a microdose.
That's not a microdose. Yeah. If you're not eating and you have no appetite. And what's scary to me is I don't think women they hear it. I don't think they fully understand what happens when you starve yourself.
Yeah. Let's talk about that.
Yeah. So take away GLPs for a minute. When I would work with women on fat loss, there's and this is a general statement, but about 2 pounds of fat loss per week for people that actually need to release weight. 2 pounds of fat loss per week is safe, sustainable, doable. And when you do it that way, your body is catching up with you, and we're doing it a healthy way. And your body, if you're eating a healthy amount of calories, the right balance of foods, you're not going to go past that really. Now, if you have obviously a significant amount to lose and you were eating very unhealthy before, you might lose more initially. But 2 pounds of fat loss per week on average is about normal. And if you just look at numbers, it takes 3,500 calories to lose 1 pound of fat. 3,500 calories. So to lose 2 pounds, you're talking a deficit of 7,000 calories. So when someone says they lose 10 pounds in a week, or 15, just think about that. What's happening?
That's terrible.
So you're not only doing that super fast and you're going to have skin hanging on you. That's a big thing. You're going to lose hair. You're going to have organ issues. You're going to absolutely lose bone. And this is not stuff you can reverse, by the way. You don't lose bone and grow it back. It doesn't work that way. So you're creating starvation in your body. Your body starts doing everything it can to protect its brain, to protect your organs, protect everything. Meanwhile, it's just like being anorexic. It's what happens there. So you are doing
it is anorexia.
You're doing irreversible damage to your body when you do that.
Yeah. I mean that's the right term for it. And it's orthorexia when we become so hyper consumed over what we're eating, and I mean they're all disordered eating, and it's in that category. I think yes, we can build back our bone and we can normalize our hormones after all of this, but I think that the damage that is done can be so severe in midlife. I guess that's
in midlife. I should say that distinction.
This is because if a 25-year-old does that, she's probably going to bounce back.
But 55-year-old woman building back their bone, I don't know about
their hair back.
Yeah, that's a rough one.
Yeah.
I mean, it's hard enough to build muscle in midlife. It can be done, but it's a lot harder.
Even just keeping. You're so active. I'm not nearly as active as you, but even just keeping good bone.
No,
even is like
even
a
me.
Chore.
I do my DEXA scan every year, and I will continue to make sure. But I think about that. Like I need to lift heavier. I need to I want to jump. I want to do things to make sure I'm preserving. But the last thing is going to be starving myself. No.
Yeah.
Because you're going to not only lose muscle and then bone, you're just creating a whole host of, not only that, you're messing up your metabolism. And I want so what happens when you stop the GLP or you stop this? Now you're going to have a metabolism that's not working properly. The more muscle you have, the more calories you burn at rest. So just sitting here because I have more muscle, you sitting here because you have more muscle, we are burning more calories at rest. You start losing muscle, we are affecting our metabolism too.
Yeah. And in many cases, I think, I don't know how to put this any more clearly. The folks who really do need it for appreciable weight loss have such metabolically compromised systems already. And then they go through an extreme weight loss period. They potentially lose a tremendous amount of muscle. They become malnourished. It's the malnourishment that is so devastating that people don't even realize. And people are walking around with symptomology. I hear it all the time from my followers. Like, I have this weird symptom and I know exactly what B vitamin or mineral they're deficient in. And I can't tell them because I can't give them medical advice. But I'm like, oh God, they're just depleting however you go into a GLP-1 journey, whether it's a microdose or a standard dose, is how you come out the other side. You get so if you come in with I think what it does is it shines a mirror on what's already the problem.
Okay.
So if you've got thyroid deficiency, or if you've got estrogen deficiency or testosterone deficiency or whatever it is, adrenal deficiency, malnourishment, and then you go through a GLP-1 experience, even at a microdose, I think it can magnify what you're already dealing with. So that's a problem. And then some of these folks come out the other side with such extreme weight loss so fast that they now have a brittle metabolism. Not only is it compromised and busted, but it is now brittle, meaning getting that back online. It's hard enough for me as a physician to get a 50-some-year-old woman's metabolism back online. But after going through that, and I've been warning about this the whole time, like this is going to be...
Plus, something you had shared with me is that you can't stay at those doses. Those doses stop being effective. So, like, even if they think they're microdosing or whatever amount is, you're going to have to keep adding more. That's what you had shared with me, right? So it's not even like, so you might think you're microdosing now or whatever, but eventually you're going to be at that other dose. So it's going to not work.
Yes.
So where's the end to it?
You get tolerance to these medications very quickly.
Really, the more muscle you have, the more calories you burn at rest. So just sitting here because I have more muscle, you sitting here because you have more muscle, we are burning more calories at rest. Because as soon as you start cheating the system, that always is going to catch up with you. And if you're doing it to cheat the system, it will...